Buzz, you're one of three teams in the SEC with a winning true road record. What do you think's kind of been the key to that?
It's hard to win on the road. 3 out of 14 are the only ones with a winning percentage. That tells you how rare it is. In all three of those games, Gabe, I think to some degree we were able to control the glass on both ends, and that at least gives us a chance. Forced 2 of those 3 at Missouri. 70% of their field goal attempts were from 3. Last night, 75% of their field goal attempts were from 3. Shooting that high percentage of field goal attempts from 3 means the ball is going to be flying all over the place, and to be able to have the ability to not give up second opportunities on the glass, I think, gives you a chance. The same is true at home. Unbelievable environment at Tennessee. Unbelievable. Was caught off guard, to be honest. I have the utmost respect for Coach Barnes, but I'd never been to Tennessee. Unbelievable support, the ambiance. I think our guys play with a collective thought really well on the road for whatever reason. But that would be statistically what I would say.
To be able to translate that success to home, what will you guys have to do well Saturday to be able to walk off the floor with a win against Mississippi State?
My answer would be the same. They're second in the league in defensive rebound percentage. They're third in the league in offensive rebound percentage. I would say I haven't studied all of their numbers through 13 games, but of their 8 wins, categorically speaking, that's a big part of their success. So in order for us to have a chance, we're not going to be able to allow them to get their normal percentages on both sides of the ball off the glass. We'll have to play with a very almost elite, perfect competitive spirit, and that will be prior to the rise of the shot, but the real game will start on the rise of the shot from what I've studied thus far.
Chuck was asked about peaking at the right time. Do you feel like you guys are playing your best ball these past 2 games?
Oh, I don't know. We were buried for so long, I don't know what peak would be, to be honest. Chuck is as good a person as there is, and is for sure more intelligent than I am. But if you're buried for the first 6 or 7 weeks of the season, saying that you're peaking with 3 weeks left kind of sounds condescending / arrogant. I just think we're trying real hard, and that gives us a chance. And the first 6 or 7 weeks, what we thought was trying hard was not trying hard. And now I think they understand that, and so we at least have a chance. But I don't know that you can be 1 game above 500 and say that you're peaking.
Well, he didn't necessarily say you guys were peaking. He just said some teams peak at the right time, and he said that he wants you guys to peak at the right time. So I was simply asking if you thought.
I'm just thankful that we won yesterday, and we'll have to do the best that we can to figure out how to have the highest level of energy possible to chase after every loose ball in the air on Saturday.
Did you talked a lot about the buy-in of Chuck and early, but when he can get that shot going early in the game like he has several times, especially from deep, how much does that loosen things up for the team and kind of help the offense get into the flow of everything?
Well, we only have 1 player on our team that's above a 30% three-point shooter. That's why we're at the bottom in the country in three-point field goal percentage. Chuck did start the game off, and I think he made 4 in the first half, so he almost had as many threes as he did turnovers in the first half. But it for sure is helpful, right? Because we're starving to generate points. We're thankful for any player that scores 4 baskets, not necessarily 4 threes. But if for some reason, obviously a high percentage of Chuck's shots are from 3, but he's a sub 30% three-point field goal percentage shooter, as are every other player except one. So it helps us. What hurt us in the first half was the 14 turnovers. Very rare to win on the road or at home when you have 19 turnovers. It speaks to a lot of the other categories of things that we're asking them to do, to be able to at least, I think we were down 6 at half, and they had shot 10 more balls than we had. As you know, if the field goal number is a push, then there's a chance that it's a game, because it means we're not getting beat on the offensive glass, and it means our turnover rate is not high. Last night was a little bit of an aberration because we were able to collect so many free throws down the stretch, particularly with Q. But the other thing was we did a much better job in defensive rebound percentage than we have in a long time. I'm not speaking of last night. The 3 previous games, we had been out-rebounded by 27 in the second half. The 3 previous games that Alabama had played prior to last night, they had averaged 96 points. So the combination of those 2 things are very dangerous for the Aggies. And when you're turning it over and letting them play, they're the second fastest team, highest scoring team in the country. Those turnovers were just breaking our back, and that we were even in a position at halftime. It was because we were doing some of those other things at a really, really good clip.
What allows this team, Buzz, to be down in the second half, but fight until the bitter end and somehow come away with the victory?
Yeah, you know, I grew up in the country, so houses were far and far apart. But every now and then, my stepmom would drop me off in town, and that was a big deal. You know, it was like houses close together, and not just walk around the neighborhoods. And most of the time, I hung around with the right kids. Occasionally, I'd hang around with the bully in town. And the bully in town, when he was walking through the neighborhood, he was always looking for that dog that was chained up in the back. And, you know, so he could throw a rock at it or kind of jump at it. And I think our team is like that. I think our team has, to some degree, in the most humble way, got tired of everybody saying we're not any good. And it's kind of like that dog in the neighborhood that's chained up. Eventually, that dog's going to snap that chain, and that bully that keeps saying ha ha ha, that bully gets bit. And you can tell, obviously I have a good seat to watch, the care that those kids have for one another is very evident. And it's not that there's been one player on our team that's been singled out. It's just collectively, the program, the team, I should say, just no good. And I think if you walk up and down long enough and keep messing with that dog, the chain on that dog is going to snap. And I think that's kind of what's going on. Is that peaking? Is that what? I don't know. I don't know. I think, but if you kick a dog long enough, eventually a dog's going to bite you. And that's, you can study a lot of different stuff that's transpired in SEC play. I've been astonished by some of the things that have never been said. But that's good. That's why I don't ever say much other than just the generic stuff. I've been astonished by some of the things that I've seen and some of the things that have been said. And I talk to our kids about it. I don't ever talk about it publicly, but I think they kind of fight with an edge to prove maybe we're not quite as bad as the support says we are, or the people say we are, or the smart people that tweet about us say we are. I think that's kind of cool for 20-year-olds to get together and go, let's see if we can change some opinions.
Buzz, to that point last night, the announcing team throughout the game is like, how is this team still in it? They're only 4 points behind. How is this team still in it? It was kind of fun to watch because they're going through all the stats as well, right? Yeah. And they're looking, and then all of a sudden you're up and you're winning the game.
I don't know. I don't even know those guys that call the game. They just show up, and I introduce myself to them. I asked, the one guy I do know that calls games is Coach Kennedy, and I was studying a game and Coach was calling it, so I turned up the volume. I never listened to the volume, but because AK was calling the game, I think he's the best. I turned the game up, and I texted him as I was watching the game, and I said, "Who are you calling the game with?" Because I didn't know, and he told me, and I said, if you call another game with him, would you let him know that my last name is Williams? Buzz Peterson, he went to college with Michael Jordan. So I don't know what those guys are saying. It doesn't matter. I don't listen to it. They're entitled to their opinions. So
For lack of a better term, have you used bulletin board material with teams before, or is that just something that has motivated this team?
no, I don't use any of that stuff. I not here, not anywhere. I think what we're responsible for as adults is to help those kids be the best that they can be. And sometimes included in being the best that you can be is you have to be willing to accept the truth. And I think that is a skill in 2020. There's a lot of people that have a forum, that have a platform to say anything they want to say with no accountability. But there's very few people anymore that have the audacity maybe, or the authenticity, or the guts to tell the truth. And to be 20 years old and to be willing to accept the truth is hard and rare. To be able to accept the truth in real time is almost unheard of. And that is what is going on with our team. They're tough enough to accept the truth, and you can tell them the truth in real time. And that's, as I have said repeatedly, that is a credit to their parents. That has nothing to do with coaching. I'm just talking about the truth. I'm not talking about coaching. But like, who said this and who said that and what about that and and I think bad emotion is just that. It's bad. And I think it's kind of like bad gas. It'll run through your tank real fast and then you're going to be out of gas. And if you're constantly looking for, hey, Buzz is going to give a great pregame talk. And you know, like some of those guys, they'll say, well, what halftime adjustments did you say? Man, you must have said something really good. And I'm like, I never even heard of anything like that. Like, no, I just tell our guys the truth. What I'm telling you guys, I tell our guys. And what I'm telling you guys, if the staff was here, everybody would be okay with it. And what I'm telling you guys, if our kids were here, they would be okay with it. And so there's never any confusion relative to us about what the truth is. I'm not saying that means that what I'm saying is right. I'm not saying that I'm Mr. Ball Coach. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying we're always on the same page. And anytime somebody gets off that page, everybody knows, uh-oh, he's off the page. Better jump back on. And I don't think that happens a lot anymore in 2020.
What's Dion's uptick in offensive production here over these last 3 games?
He helps us. I think he made 4 baskets last night. I think Chuck made 4. Save made 4. Q made 3. Man, that's 11 baskets from arguably our 3 best offensive players, not named Nebo. Changes our team. We scored 74 points, I think. We have a chance. We're more built. You know how the NBA All-Star game, they're playing that real smart guys.
Elam.
Yeah. Play to a number. We're not as smart as Elam, but we're kind of playing that number. We just don't ever announce what that number is, you know? And 74 is like astronomically high to us. But if Q can make 3 baskets, Chuck can make 4, Save can make 4, that changes our team. That changes our team.
All right, thanks, Coach.